Back to those destructive wildfires in northern Minnesota. Fire officials today said the two largest fires have spread rapidly in the last 24 hours, burning more than 35,000 acres. The Jenkins Creek Fire and the nearby Camp House Fire are located about an hour north of Duluth and have burned a combined area equal to 25,000 football fields. Fire crews this morning say they are now managing the fires as one complex, but say both are 0% contained. The Camp House Fire has destroyed at least 140 structures, including several homes. Local, state, and federal teams are all working together to try to keep those flames from spreading further.
So as pilots, we come over to the water or the dip site, and we lower that bucket into the water to pick up around 600 gallons. And then we will circle around, find a fire spot that the DNR directs us to, and then we'll release that water on that spot and try and put out some of those fumes and maybe do some preventative measures. It's been long days. It's very mentally and physically taxing, just controlling the aircraft with all the winds and trying to get it in the right spot for the drops that the DNR wants.
Authorities are investigating the causes for both those fires. Now to the city of Canyon, about 35 minutes northwest of Duluth. The Munger Shaw Fire continues to burn at this hour, though Mother Nature did lend a hand there. Jennifer Hoff joins us now live with the latest on that fire. Jennifer?
Rena, we're outside the fire hall here, which was the staging area for a lot of the crews working on that Munger Shaw fire. And yeah, Mother Nature helping a lot. The winds really died down, humidity skyrocketed. That's helping them get a handle on things. It also doesn't hurt that some of the most highly trained firefighters all across the country got here into town late this morning. The Tatanka hotshots from South Dakota, again, just so well trained and skilled on these highly dynamic fires. That's now burning nearly 2,000 acres here, and it's in really tricky area. It's a lot of wetland and pine trees that are susceptible to burning, that the fire chief says really only they got a handle on it late last night because these air tankers worked for hours. That was what was so helpful. And then the local fire crew's job was to really wet the ground in those structures with hoses. And they saved a lot of homes and cabins here, but some of them are still threatened by a fire that the chief says is unlike anything that he has ever seen before.
This is the biggest one that I've been on for a wildfire. I was more not as rural before on the departments, but this is the biggest wildland fire I've seen in my 35 years.
Long time as a firefighter, and again, he hasn't seen a fire quite like this, quite dynamic as well, and there is still zero containment on this fire, particularly the Munger Shaw one. We do know, have learned a little bit more about what may have started it. The fire chief saying the original call came in as a hay bale on fire on private property just a few miles down the road from here. We're still working to learn exactly what started that, but then it did spread to some, again, the private property, a field, and then into the forest. Rena.
Jennifer, their officials are saying this is different than other years, right? There is something bigger about what's happening right now.
Well, if you look back for perspective, I mean, these fire seasons are starting earlier and earlier. It is very windy and it is very dry. And for mid-May, it's really very hot, especially up in this area. You might remember a few years ago, we were up here covering the Greenwood fire extensively, which was a little bit more further northeast and happened in August. But still, that burned about 27,000 acres. We're already talking these three fires here reaching about 35,000 acres or so. So it's certainly something that's going to stand out for a lot of folks up here.
All right, Jennifer, thank you.